So for those who are looking to make a little bit extra money on the side through a side hustle known as arbitrage betting, most people don't actually know how much money you can expect to make. When I asked you guys on YouTube how much money you can expect to make from arbitrage or plus EV sports betting each week, there were answers all the way from $100 each week all the way up to $100,000. Well, no one would be doing it if you were only making $100 each week, and if you were making $100,000 each week, then all the sports books would be bankrupt by now. I've been using profitable sports betting strategies for just over 1 year now, and I've been keeping track of how much I've been making each week.
In my P&L tracker, summed up the amount I've made each week, and I put it into the weekly profit breakdown chart. I've copied all the values in, and across 44 weeks, the average of that was $1,077 on average. But as you can see from the chart, across the different weeks, the profit is all over the place. There was 1 week where I made over $4,500 roughly. And there were also a couple of losing weeks where I made a small loss of a few hundred.
On average, I was spending anywhere between 3 hours to 10 hours each week, and a lot of that time was just spent watching races or watching games. So if you think about it in terms of an hourly rate, it is guaranteed to be pretty solid. Now, one of the biggest reasons that can affect your profit or loss is your strategy that you employ. I could have done arbitrage betting, which means risk-free betting, but this would reduce my P&L to about $400 to $500 each week. We can see examples on some match betting sites such as Bonus Bank, where customers are shown how to hedge their bets and kind of arbitrage them in a way, and they can expect to make a few hundred per week or a few thousand per month. On the other hand, what I employ is positive EV. This makes the earnings on average to be a lot higher, but it also makes it a lot more risky and a lot more volatile, which is why you can see the huge discrepancies in how much I made each week. And you can also see there was a couple of losing weeks. Before I go into all the factors that affect how much you can make each week, there's been a lot of people asking me to teach the strategies that I actually use. And there's some good news. Make sure you guys watch to the end of this video, where I will be sharing details on my new live interactive course, where I'll be teaching live the exact strategies that I developed and used over my past year of betting. And is where I will be training you to be able to bet in the same way and make money for yourselves. So now to break it down. Of course, one of the biggest factors that affects how much you can make each week is down to luck. But this factor does not affect how much you make on average. Some weeks there's just a lot of good luck for you and you win bet after bet after bet, and each win can be up to about $500. So you can make quite a lot. There's also some bets that have huge payouts up to $1,000 per $50 bet. And if you can win 1 or 2 of those each week, then you're already set to make 1 or 2 grand. Let's look at the bets from the week where I lost money. I was betting on horses across 20 races, and there just wasn't any horse that wanted to win. Now, a lot of these strategies use bonus bets and bonus bet refunds as a form of loss minimization. So you will lose less if you don't win, but even then it doesn't fully protect your downside risk and you can still lose your full stake. I remember my worst day was when I deployed over $2,000 on the horse races for that day across 3 different bookmakers, and by the time I checked my accounts at the end of the day, I realized only 1 out of probably 100 horses that I bet on had actually won, and it didn't make me much profit anyway, so at the end of that day I ended up losing just over $900. I couldn't really fault the strategy that I was using, it was just down to terrible variance for that day, and you can probably expect one of those days if you've been betting for as long as I have. Also, at the beginning I was making a lot less. I was using betting strategies that were good, but they weren't the optimal ones that could make you the most money out of it. It took me a couple of months to develop the best strategies that maximized profits, and that's when you can kind of see the trend line of my profit and loss graph going up significantly. I was also making a few mistakes, mostly back in my early days. Some of the strategies I developed with I thought were good, but they turned out to be actually rubbish after I saw how much money they were making, which was negative. And I've also made a few misclicks which have cost me quite a bit of money as well. Now, by the time when I had my best week, which was when I made $3,000 in 1 day, at that point I had already optimized my betting strategy. But that wasn't the single factor that had affected it. It was also during the winter sports season, where there were AFL and NRL games running consistently across the weekend. and there were a lot of bookmakers providing special offers on these games. Now, if it isn't winter and you're in Australia, which means you're in the off season, then the only things you can really do year round is the Saturday horse racing and some greyhound racing on the weekdays. If you found this interesting so far, please make sure to smash the like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already. It really means a lot to the channel. Also, how many different bookmakers that you're using can significantly affect your profitability. There's some bookies that are either really generous and give a lot of special offers, or they are really slow at updating their prices and have a lot of mispriced odds. And you can expect to make a lot more from them, for example, Sportsbet and Ladbrokes. But they will also tend to ban you quicker than bookies, for example, say Tab. At one point, I was using 4 bookies at that one point in time, which was Tab, Sportsbet, Unibet, and PointsBet. That was when I was making the most money per week. But eventually, I got banned on most of them, and now profits have dwindled significantly, as there just aren't as many opportunities for me to take advantage of anymore. So now, without Sportsbet and only having Tab and Bet365 accounts being active at the moment, during this off season I'm making significantly less, and my P&L now is sitting around $500 per week. So for those of you in Australia who have the heart and commitment to learn the maths behind sports betting and actually want to understand the strategies behind them, I am announcing my new sports betting trader course, where I'll actually be sharing the exclusive strategies that I'm using right now through live interactive video lessons. I also have built tools in the forms of Excel models that you can use to take advantage and be able to utilize these in your own betting. The cost of this program is $390 AUD, but you can expect to make this money back fairly quickly. And I do have a money back guarantee which states you will get a full refund of your $390 if you don't make this back within your first month of actually betting. If you want to see more details on this definitely isn't something that's for everyone. This is only for people who want to learn the mathematics. Then go over to my website where you can find out more details and find out how to sign up. Since these classes are live and I will be having to teach all these classes by myself, I'm capping the first cohort at only 15 students to make sure I can put enough attention to each and every one and make sure they all have a solid understanding, as if they don't, they can easily make mistakes and lose money instead of making money. Please know that this is not any form like those tipping services. I'm not giving my expert tips or whatever. My goal is to teach you the maths behind my betting models so you can apply these, be independent, and make money betting yourself. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to smash the like button down below and subscribe to this channel to not miss out on my future sports betting videos and money making tips that I have lined up. As always, take care and I'll see you guys in the next video.